The Elgin Police Department is dedicated to working in partnership with the community to promote safety and enhance the quality of life by serving with professionalism, encouraging open communication, and embracing diversity.
Engaged.
Partnering with our citizens and involved in our community.
Progressive.
Embracing innovative strategies while maintaining proven practices.
Dedicated.
Serving with integrity and professionalism. Elgin became an incorporated city in 1854 and installed its first police marshal, George W. Renwick. Over the years, the title of the head law enforcement officer changed from marshal to chief. And although the role has expanded, one duty has remained consistent: to ensure law and order for the citizens of Elgin.
It's time now for Fridays with the Finest, featuring Elgin's current police chief, Anna Lally, on Elgin's hometown radio station since 1949, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
And good morning, everybody. This is Fridays with the Finest, and we are here like we are every single Friday with Chief Anna Lally. Good morning, Chief. How are you doing today?
Good morning. How are you?
Couldn't be better. What's
Good.
going on?
Obviously today is Halloween, so I want to talk a little thing about safety for this afternoon, and so everyone has an enjoyable Halloween. But first, I want to kind of recap. Two big events, right? Nightmare on Chicago Street that happened on Saturday. Boy, it seems like, man,
Was it?
it was just a week ago. But what a great event. And, I know I stopped by here, so thank you to WRMN for, doing your radio show and getting people involved. And we had no major incidents. We had just one very minor dispute between two people, but nothing major, no major incidents. So, thank you to, all the police officers, all community service officers, parking control officers, explorers, volunteers, all the city people, firefighters, and I want to give a special thank you to the Aurora SWAT team. They came out and were out there assisting and helping with our SWAT team, just to add some numbers to our group. To the people that showed up and the community, and everybody just, had a really good time. And it was packed. I mean, I think
Yeah, it
you're
really
here,
was.
you saw people. It was packed. It was.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the official numbers are yet. I don't know if the city put that out. But I will tell you, just being there, and each year, I think this year, because they're expanding the event, so it is spaced out a little bit more. But I will definitely tell you, like, when you can see the food lines, when the food lines get packed where you can't even walk through,
There's people.
there's people. So, but yeah, great event. Everything, that's again. I want to give a special thank you to Lieutenant Scott Holmes and Sergeant Randy Fries of our traffic division and special events. They take the lead and point on the planning. It is a lot. It's a lot of planning. That
Even
we do.
throughout, they had the city workers that were picking up garbage during the event.
Yep.
And making sure that everything was empty. I mean,
Yeah.
that really says a lot,
Yep.
because it keeps the flow and there's no mess.
Because the cleanup, you could see they're still doing cleanup today.
Yeah.
So I think overall, when we have a big events like that, we plan, we prepare, we think about scenarios, we dissect what we did wrong, what we should do better. And we cannot predict what could happen at these events, but we have to be
You never
prepared.
know. Sure.
And so, I think that that was definitely a great event. And when you see all these people come together, Amanda Harris, again, she knocked it out of the park from the city. Really, really, really.
What's the
really,
other gentleman that helped? Peter?
Yes, Peter. I think that, I know, is his name Peter?
I think
Peter?
it was Peter.
I met him.
I met his father. It was his 77th birthday, Tony.
Oh, okay.
So we did an interview with him here in front of the
Hey, there you
station.
go. So it's a 2-4.
Yeah, it was really something. A lot of
But yeah,
people
so
came by.
thank you guys, appreciate it. And they're planning. They take a little bit of a break, and then the planning starts up for next year. So
Yeah.
I also want to say, I met Brendan. So Brendan is one of your hosts, or one of your people on
Number one fan.
number one fan, and I saw him. I met him. So we're usually, like, this morning, I'm on your chat here on YouTube, and I said, hello, and I see his response. Yeah, and that was awesome. To meet him, because you're communicating via text messages here. You never even meet this person. Then when you meet this person,
The name with the face is always
Yeah. Oh,
better.
yeah.
Sure
So it
it is.
was a pleasure to meet you, Brendan. It was, great to meet you, and I'm glad that we did meet. And so now I know what you look like. So when I see you, I'll know who you are. And so thank you for. So did you guys have him here to kind
You know,
of?
he came in for a little bit. Yeah, talked with
Yeah.
us. We did a little interview outside with him. But yeah, he's like I say, he's our number one fan, and we love to interact with him every time he comes around.
Yeah, he was great. So thank you, Brendan. It was nice meeting you, and hope to see you soon. And then so our Halloween event. So on Tuesday, I can't believe it. It's the time goes by very quickly. So on Tuesday, we had our this was our fourth annual. I want to say fourth or third. I think it was the fourth year. Um, Annual Halloween event, and wow, talk about packed house. We had it was crazy. It was the lines for the tour throughout the police department, because every area in the department that wants to, they um, basically kind of decorate. So our theme up in admin, we did the Nightmare Before Christmas. I had Commander Heather Lencioni dressed up in a costume, Commander Tom Michael. Um, and Sergeant Hector Gutierrez. So they were in costume. I don't go in costume. I meet the people as the chief. So people, they do a better job in the costume. I'll just say that. So, and I also like to let people know, like, hey, this is you're in the Elgin Police Department, and I want people to have that connection to me, so they know who I am, and that I know who they are. And I met so many people, and just handing out candy, so people go through the entire department, and even in that brief interaction, just meeting with the like the kids and the parents, and just that few where people are just smiling and laughing, and just so many compliments um from people about the police department,
What,
and
what better way to get to know your
oh yeah,
residents? And it's a nice, calm setting.
yeah.
In fact, the Soto family,
I see that it
you
is the
saw it
fourth
on there.
time, so
Yeah,
thank you. And
she was
so
very happy.
it was great to meet you too. Hector, right? Is it Hector?
Hector's the
So
guy that
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So yes, thank you guys for being there, and thank you for the info. And even those small interactions, and just being able to meet people in person, and you put a face to a name, and they get to see you, in a very different light. So I think that is such a gift for us. So I told the people that in the police department, all the members, I passed on the compliments to make sure that they know, right? That they know that this is the work that we do together collectively as an organization. People in the community do appreciate it, and they feel it, and it's
Yeah.
and I think it's important that that message is relayed to people who are, um, who do this every day in and day in day out, especially when there's a lot of things going on that may be a little frustrating, or a lot of times people, especially more time you have on in law enforcement, no matter what your role is, sometimes people do get a little hard, like a hardened shell sometimes. Not everybody, but I think it's these moments where you realize, like, you have a purpose, that there's a bigger thing here in play, that you're making a difference.
And you're very humble all the time when I bring up how what you do with the community and what you do to bring everybody to you and close to you. And when I say you, the department,
Hmm.
because that's how you treat everybody. You
Yep.
treat everybody, your officers, the residents here. It's total involvement, total
Yes.
inclusion, and
Yes.
that's very important. And a lot of people don't realize, the talent that you have to bring everybody together. That's not something that you just, oh, okay, yeah.
No, it's. I
It's
will say, and I appreciate that, because I think you bring up a good point that um, when you get into, especially more administrative roles in an organization like a police department, right? It's and I tell a lot of young supervisors and people aspiring to be commanders and lieutenants, and eventually deputy chiefs and chiefs. And I can say this because I've been a police officer for almost 30 years.
wow.
In administrative, I was a commander in 2012, right? Became the chief in 2018. So, and before that, I was a lieutenant and a sergeant. So, but especially in the upper administrative roles in a department, your lieutenants and up, um, it's not so much about the technical skill, but you need to have that. You need to know how to do certain things. You're still a police officer. It's more about the little bit of the X factor, the thing you can't put your finger on, right? It's a genuineness that people feel, It's this connection that people feel, and you can't fake it. I've seen people like you, and part of that just comes with who you are as a person, right? Like if
Comes right out.
it comes
They
right
could tell.
out,
They could
and you
sniff it
can
out.
people fake a lot of stuff, and I think everyone is in some point in their life has met people, and you're like, well, on the surface, this person looks, pretty, interesting, or appears to be, and then as more time goes on, especially in moments of stress, moments of challenge, and moments where you're divided along some type of line because of some incident or some different thought. That's when, in my opinion, the people's true character comes out. So I think it's I always tell people who aspire to do a little bit of the higher, if you want to go higher in an organization as a police department, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the thing that you can't put your finger on, which I call it the X factor a lot, those are the things that make people really kind of, I think, flourish. Because for me, it's, I walk into that department every day. I want to make the best for the department, and I want to make it best for the community. And no matter what is going on, good things, bad things, I'm here every Friday for the most part, good things, bad things. Um, that never changes. That is a constant, right? And you
Right.
cannot switch your perspective or your opinion because of the love of the people or the dislike of the people, right? If it's coming from a good place, your priorities are set. You truly, truly, truly want the best for people. It's easy, right? So, I think when
People spot sincerity.
they do.
It's like a dog.
Oh, they do.
When you find a pet and they could sniff you out and they could tell whether you're scared, not scared.
Yeah.
And I think humans are the same thing. They could tell whether you're just putting on the dogs or you're really sincere. You're a
Yeah, and
sincere
that not only
individual.
that, but in the moments where there's some type of crisis, because I can tell you during my time as the police chief, we've had a lot of things, right? Those moments where you're engaging with the community, engaging with the police officers, where there is conflict, right? Conflict can be a very good thing when it's channeled in a healthy way. The difference of opinion, is it's also something that I think, and you also have to stop yourself to be like, am I set in my way where I have this bias, confirmation bias. Well, I've seen this before, so this is what's going to happen. That is, you got to take a step back and say, well, no, here's what potentially could happen, and I have to keep my, open. I have to keep an open mind because everything is different, and so it's just. But I think the core of that comes from just, how you are as a person. It doesn't matter about your title. Your title doesn't mean anything. Who are you as a person, right? If you see Anna Lally at the Jewel on a Saturday, I'm the same Anna Lally that you're gonna see.
Sure.
Like, I'll probably be in a tracksuit. I'll be more, casual, but I'm the same person. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and I think that's important that people are just be who you are, and people will appreciate it. Doesn't mean we have to think alike, agree on things. Um, so, I think that when I hear the community come through, and I hear all the I mean, just, and the kids, and they're so excited, and just, you feel this energy, and it's like, this is what we work so hard for, and we
Yeah.
have to work every single day for, no matter what. And, I truly appreciate the people in the Elgin Police Department. They decorated areas. It was amazing. I will say, we have a communication supervisor. Her name is Victoria. She did a Harry Potter theme. Oh my God. Like, so we had a contest inside and outside of what's the best area of that. She won hands down. Oh my God. Vote for her. She did this Harry Potter theme, and it's literally like you were at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
It was amazing. She was amazing. So I was just like, when you see people get involved in all the areas, our investigations division, our special investigations group, everything, um, and they put some really good thought into it, because when you see those kids, that absolutely is my favorite event at the police department, because all those kids that come through there, and they're just so, some of them, their parents are like, make sure you say thank you. And, you know, the kid can barely speak, but, they're trying to, and you're just like, you're welcome. But, it's like the parents just being really appreciative and trying to, push that to their kids, and then just, showing that appreciation, when in reality, what they're doing for us it's, you can't even measure it, right?
And it's a good thing what you do by letting each division, each department within the department, that lets their personality,
Hmm.
that supervisor's personality come out
Yeah.
and shared, and then people like, there's that commonality. maybe there's people that are way into Harry Potter.
Yes.
Now they connected. And now if
Yes.
there's a situation, that's where they're going to go. That's, this is not just a con job. This is like sincerity.
This is
You
this
know,
is this is your
positive diversity by bringing everybody together.
Yes. It's your police department. This
That's
is the
right.
community's police department. So for us to invite people in and to say, here are the people that serve you, here are the people that protect you,
Yeah.
and they're really, really good people. And everyone is trying their best to do something. I mean, I think there is a lot of negativity in the world and in general, and I think it's unfortunate that some things are happening the way they are happening. But I think we as individuals in our very day to day, in our moments that we have with people, and how you treat each other with respect, even when we disagree, even when there's something going on. It has always been important to me that that respect is first and foremost.
Right.
And, whether or not people agree, whether or not people like, and also it gives you some insight into perspective. It's like if you've never done the job of somebody that you are criticizing, right? I'm not going to criticize a doctor because I've never been a doctor, right? Now, do I have my opinion on things that maybe this, that, this,
Yeah.
that? That's different because sharing your opinions and wanting something different absolutely makes organizations flourish when you're right. But when you're just, nitpicky to nitpick, it's kind of like, well, thank you. I mean, I still appreciate it, I guess, and maybe there's some learning lesson in there. But yeah, so I want to just mention all that, all good stuff. Really, really good. So tonight, Halloween, right? So I want to kind of get into a little bit about what's happening here in Elgin. So trick or treat hours today, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, so we are asking our community, please, let's all make this an enjoyable night for kids. So be alert, right? So a lot of times you'll see kids, with their phones, in their phone, and they're trying to cross streets, and cars are not paying attention. So everybody just kind of give that extra attention today. Be alert. We want to make sure that there are no mishaps. Be visible, right? So if you're wearing a costume, especially, it's getting dark. 5 o'clock, I think it's dark, right? Is it daylight savings time is this weekend, right?
This coming weekend
This
it
weekend.
changes, right?
So, please make sure that, if your costume is something that does not have bright colors, that you have some type of lighting. Also, that you're not tripping, right? So be safe. We don't want people getting hurt. Young children do not go alone, right? We want to make sure that it's a safe environment for kids. So make sure that there's a parent or an older adult or someone there. Again, use the sidewalk. Please do not be crossing. Don't be running across the street. There's tons of candy to give. I think everyone is candied out.
Oh yeah.
Wow, like we had a lot of candy at the station, and we gave out a lot of candy. But if you are, don't just be careful, be cautious. Make sure that if your kids are out and you're not with them as parents, that you're communicating with them and keeping in contact with them. So texting with them, where you at, what's going on. If you have iPhones, find my person, right? See where they're at. That extra layer of safety. Have check-in points. If you're telling them to be home at a certain time. If you feel comfortable sending them out, especially as they're the teenagers, right?
And with the parents, be careful with the collecting the candy. If you're
Yes.
not comfortable with a certain person or neighborhood,
Throw it out.
keep two
Yes.
bags. Put it in the throw out bag
Yes.
if you don't know the people and you feel a little funny about it. If something looks like it's been opened once,
Yes.
don't take a chance. I'll buy you all the candy you want.
Yes.
Don't take
Don't
that
take
chance.
a chance. And
Yeah.
again, when the kids do, and that's a great point, is telling the kids, especially if you're not with them, don't eat the candy until you get home.
No.
All right, like, so that's another thing. The other thing too is plan a route. So obviously pick areas that your child is familiar with. If they are a little bit older, they can still maybe get turned around. So making sure that they know where they're at, making sure you have those check-in points. If you are going to participate, please keep your porch and exterior lights on. Make sure that the walkways are clear. And I'll also say this, if you leave a bowl of candy out on your porch because you're not home and you still want to participate, so the trick-or-treaters, when you come, don't take the whole bowl.
Yeah.
And that happened one year in my neighborhood. So, I'm usually never home, like during I'm still at work and stuff. And so we left a bowl of candy out. And it was a big bowl. And not only did they take the candy, they took the bowl.
They took the bowl. too.
Yes. So I was like, okay, that, you know what? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Right. So, don't do that. You know, that if you do that, but again, you know, if you plan to leave a bowl out there and you're not handing it out, just be safe with that too as well. You don't want somebody dropping something in there and people reach their hand. So a lot of things, and again, you know, taste test patients, right? Do not eat the candy when you're on your route. Make sure you go home to your parents, you know, and then the parents, please, you know, make sure you double check the candy, make sure it's wrapped, and you know, so all these things we want to make a safe and fun environment for kids. This is kind of their week, right? Like they, especially if they were at our event at the police department, it's like stimulus overload.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff going on. These kids, like I could tell you when they walked into our area, because it was, you know, a bunch of lights and you know it's this really cool kind of environment and you know this really cool vibe going on with the and these kids their eyes are like they're like and then we had an area which because it's you know Nightmare Before Christmas and so during that movie there's a point where there's like there's a Christmas scene in there. So we did half of like Halloween, but half of like the theme of the movie, but then half of like Christmas. So we have this fake snow that we put in this area, and there was one kid that came in, and she literally like threw herself into the fake snow, and she's rolling around. Her parents trying to grab her up. These kids loved the fake snow was a hit, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow. So, but I was just laughing because I'm like, oh my god. And then so you know we joked at the end of the event. The event started at 5, and what we do is we allow um, employees, people that work at the department, to bring their family through first. So they get to go through with their kids. So we have the employees come through with their kids, which is really, really great. And then we open it up to the public. So from like at 6:30, I was telling one of the officers, I'm like, we need to shut down the line because what we have, which is going around the police department for the tour, we wouldn't be done until 7:30, right? So, but it was just it
I
was
saw the
crazy.
outside. I
It
caught a
was
little bit of the outside. I didn't dare go in just to what
oh
you're
my
saying.
god,
When
it
I
was
saw the
packed.
line, I was like, yeah, we'll
And
do
then
that
when
next
we were
time.
done, so all of us, you know, myself, Deputy Chief Schuster, the commander, Hector, you know, my administrative assistant, Katie Johnson, crime analyst, Ryan Drake, budget analyst, Lacey, all of us were there handing out candy. So it's really good because we kind of come together as a group, and that's
Hmm.
our work group. And
Sure.
but as soon as it was over, and you know, I'm looking at Adam, and I'm like, this looks like a frat house. Like we literally look like we just threw a. I'm like, so we all went home because we're tired. We're like, all right, we'll deal with this tomorrow. We'll clean it up. So by the time I came in the next morning, I got in a little bit late because I had a meeting. So Adam and Hector were already there, kind of cleaning up, and you know, he's like, this was like a frat house. I'm like, oh yeah, it looked like we just literally the front of the station has all this hay all over the place. It looks like we just threw a huge party, which, you know, every now and then you got to have a little fun like that, right? Like that. This is we are in a very serious profession with a lot of serious things going on, and you know,
You need that levity.
we just for us to you know have a little bit of a break. I also want to say you know that I'm thinking about this. So our crime free housing unit, Christy Schmidt, Natalie, Lieutenant Miriam Duffy, Sergeant Bob Inglekey, that whole group. You know, thank you guys for what you did because and also so Kevin Snow, Kevin Kemajiran, he's a school resource officer. Alton, I think everybody knows Alton. Alton Gallagher, the downtown office officers. Officer Josh Miller, these guys put together a haunted house at the bottom of the parking deck and you know they do it every year and wow I mean this is like it's like you know you're in an actual like haunted house the work and effort
It's
they
like
put in.
Fright Fest over
Yeah,
at.
so me and Hector went down there before you know the event started and I was holding a cup of tea and I'm walking and you know I think it was I can't remember. It was Kevin Snow. He's like, are you, you know, or no, it wasn't Kevin. Somebody else. Kevin Cameron was like, hey, are you going to walk through? I'm like, yeah, we're going to walk through. And I'm like, is there anyone in there? Because last year when I did it, they had like our explorers and they're popping out. I'm like, well, he's like, no one's in there. I'm like, So I put my tea down. I'm like, I'm not going to go in there. And so sure enough, I walk in and Kevin Snow starts startling me for a minute, which if I had my tea, it would be all over my face. So but those guys are really, really great. You know, they do a lot of serious work, but then when you see them have a little bit of fun like that,
it's their
right?
time, man.
It's again, you know, the event in itself is the event. The why is to develop those relationships that help us through very difficult times. The why is to ensure that we are living up to the standard of what the community expects us to be as police officers and what they need. The why is to also, you know, be a very visible presence to say no matter what is going on, you know, we are here. We will remain the consistent. We will remain the steady. We will get through whatever is happening together, and we will respect everybody's rights, right? And
Yeah.
I think that you have to believe that, and you have to then display that in your actions. So Halloween tonight, again, I hope everyone is safe. Again, if you are going to participate, make sure that things are, that you're paying attention to what's happening. Real quick too, as we, next couple weeks here. So I have some promotions coming up, some retirements coming up. So, next Friday or maybe the week after, the couple weeks, I'm going to be bringing some new people on who are now in some new spots. A lot of exciting things happening at the police department. When people do retire, you know, um, life goes on, life moves on, right? And we have to ensure that doesn't matter, who leaves, how long you have, our time here is very short,
Yeah.
right? And so we want to make sure that when people do leave and their years of dedicated service, that we honor them. So that's a lot of stuff happening next week. I also want to touch base probably a little bit more in depth next week on some crime stats as we make our way here to the end of the year. Just briefly, I will tell you through September, our year to date crime stats, our Group A offenses, again, those are the most serious. We are at a 7% decrease from where we were last year,
Excellent.
which is really good. Now, again, there's a lot of things going on. So when we do this analysis at the end of the year about crime stats, we're going to have to take a deeper dive into what's happening, why is it happening. Um, we are seeing a little bit of an uptick in some fraud and scams. So I asked our crime analyst, Ryan, to do some analysis for me. So I should have that information next week, push out to the community. Our shots fired. I'm going to say it. I don't say it every week, but I'm going to say it just for, so year to date, we are at 21 incidents. Last year at this time, we were at 59. So we are at a 64% decrease. If we stay on this trajectory, I think this is going to be the lowest year in a very, very long time.
Do I dare
So,
ask, when was the last time you had an
Um,
incident of a shots fired?
It's been a few weeks. So,
Right.
yeah. So,
Excellent.
where's wood in here?
Yeah,
is
that's-
this
that's all
real?
wood.
Yeah. So I want to just mention that, and again, there are, and I am very well aware of things that are going on globally, right? Could that have an impact on our crime rates? It could potentially, or it could not. So I think before we jump to any conclusions, we have to take this deep dive and do an analysis.
Right.
And again, there are years that I've been here saying, "Yep, crime is up, crime is down, crime is up." Crime. It's. There's a lot of factors that involve whether or not people will commit criminal activity. And so, you have to be very aware of those national events taking place or global events, and then, how does it impact us here in Elgin? So that's the purpose of us releasing our crime stats every month. As we make our way to the end of the year, there's a lot of data analysis going on. There's a lot. Ryan becomes very, very busy now. So as we kind of wind down in terms of community events because of the holidays coming up, and it's this.
And you have a whole host of events coming up for the holidays.
We
too.
do, yeah. We have an open house. Our main
Yeah.
next thing is an open house that we have, but other than that, we do kind of slow down a little bit. It gives us an opportunity to catch our breaths. There's a lot of data analysts going on, setting the tone for next year. For me, it's a lot working now with Ryan on the annual report. Setting the direction for next year, looking at our crime trends. Thinking about strategy, thinking about, how are we going to address some of the things that we're talking about, whether it's immigration, gun violence, all these different things. So, and you in there, with the holidays too, it's a time hopefully where people get to enjoy some time with their family,
Absolutely.
and really, enjoy each other and appreciate each other. And it's a little bit of sunshine in the day, right?
Well, there
Just
has
a
to be
little bit.
sunshine.
There has to be every
You can
single
always
day.
find the sunshine,
Yes.
Sometimes, like what you're saying, the way you involved your department, you could come in a bad mood, but all the things that you got going on and all these events, how can you not get yourself right out?
Oh yeah.
Because you're
It's-
serving the public.
And the thing too is I guess if you're gonna come to work and if you're gonna make this day is never gonna come again.
That's right.
So why waste it on a bad attitude? Is my opinion.
Way to
right?
go.
So
Chief,
anyhow,
thanks for all that you do. Thanks
right,
to your
everyone.
department.
Have a
This
safe
has been
weekend.
Fridays with the Finest, Chief Anna Lally. And we'll be back next week, 9 o'clock sharp. Don't miss it. Talk to you then. WRMN 1410.